We are counting down the top 10 most extraordinary creatures ever discovered on our planet. From microscopic beings that can cheat death to legendary giants of sky, sea, and land, these animals redefine what life is capable of. Some showcase mind-bending intelligence, others wield near superhuman strength or speed, and a few bend the very rules of biology itself. Which remarkable species will earn the #1 spot? Let us begin with number 10. Barely the size of a pinky nail, the immortal jellyfish. Turritopsis dohrnii bends the rules of life and death in a way no other animal does. When faced with injury or starvation, this jellyfish doesn't simply age or perish, it transforms. Through a process called transdifferentiation, it reverts from its adult medusa form back to a youthful polyp, essentially starting its life over. In the lab, scientists have watched as its cells shed their roles and reorganize, turning back the biological clock again and again, a repeated reset of cellular identity. Key to this feat is a unique variant of the POT1 protein, which helps maintain the jellyfish's telomeres, those protective caps on chromosomes that, in most animals, wear down with each cell division. But immortality has its limits. In the wild, predators, disease, and harsh conditions often end the cycle before it can begin. So while Turritopsis dohrnii can, in theory, live forever, true eternal life remains out of reach, a microscopic marvel, quietly challenging our understanding of aging. High above the jagged spine of the Andes, a shadow sweeps across the rock and snow. The Andean condor, with wings stretching up to 3.3 meters, rides the rising mountain air. This bird's flight is a lesson in patience and efficiency. Hours can pass without a single wing beat as it glides on thermal currents, scanning valleys for signs of life and death. Each day, a condor may cover from 150 to 200 kilometers, searching for carrion that keeps the mountain ecosystem clean. Its world is built on cliffs and ledges, where a single egg is laid every 2 years, and chicks depend on their parents for months. Such slow reproduction leaves the species vulnerable. Today, the Andean condor is listed as vulnerable, its future tied to the fate of these wild mountain landscapes. A giant of the sky, both powerful and fragile, shaping the high-altitude world with every silent glide. Deep in the rainforests of the Americas, a single colony of leafcutter ants can harvest nearly 5 tons of leaves each year. But these ants don't eat the leaves themselves. Instead, they carry fragments, up to 50 times their own body weight, back to their underground nests. There, the leaves become the foundation for vast fungal gardens. Specialized worker castes, each with distinct roles, tend to the fungus, feed the larvae, and defend the colony. The real secret lies in a 3-way alliance. The ants farm a unique fungus for food, while symbiotic bacteria living on their bodies produce antibiotics to protect the crop from parasites. This ancient agricultural system, perfected over millions of years, predates human farming by tens of millions of years. Through sheer cooperation and division of labor, leafcutter ants have transformed the forest floor into a living engine of growth. They are tiny farmers whose collective strength rivals giants, proof that in nature teamwork can build empires. First described by science in 1998, the mimic octopus lives along the muddy sea floors of Indonesia and Southeast Asia, where danger can come from any direction. What sets this cephalopod apart isn't just its ability to blend in. It can impersonate more than 15 different species, switching forms in minutes. When threatened by a predatory damselfish, it stretches its arms and swims like a venomous sea snake, complete with bold black and white bands. Faced with a lionfish or stingray, it fans its arms to mimic their shapes and warning colors, deterring would-be attackers. This targeted mimicry is more than camouflage, it is strategy. The mimic octopus reads cues from its environment, then draws on a library of disguises, each one tailored to the threat at hand. Its brain coordinates a symphony of chromatophores and muscle contractions, turning soft, boneless flesh into a living costume. Here, intelligence is measured not by brute force, but by the art of becoming something else entirely. Few animals inspire more raw respect than the honey badger. Beneath its tough, bristled fur lies a hide that can measure up to 6 millimeters thick, loose enough for the animal to twist and bite back even when caught in a predator's jaws. This armor isn't just for show. Field researchers have watched honey badgers survive bites from cobras and puff adders, walking away groggy but alive where most mammals would not. The secret isn't magic immunity, but a mix of thick skin, quick reflexes, and a blood serum that seems to neutralize some snake venoms. Still, death isn't off the table. A badger can and does fall to enough venom or to a determined attacker. Yet its reputation for fearlessness is well earned, raiding beehives for honey, digging out rodents and squaring up to lions if cornered. The honey badger's grit is legendary, but its real strength is relentless persistence, not invincibility. On the frozen expanse of the Arctic, a polar bear waits in absolute stillness beside a narrow hole in the ice. Every muscle is tuned to the faintest sound beneath the surface. A seal surfacing for air could mean the difference between survival and starvation. Hours may pass in the biting cold, but patience is the bear's greatest weapon. Thick layers of blubber and hollow fur trap precious warmth, while black skin absorbs what little sun the Arctic offers. Some bears have been tracked swimming for days between shrinking patches of ice, covering distances that would exhaust most creatures. Yet even these adaptations cannot outpace a warming world. Arctic sea ice is vanishing at a rate of about 13% each decade, shrinking the hunting grounds that have shaped the polar bear's existence. Here, mastery of the ice is no longer enough. The very stage for this ancient hunt is melting away. In the black silence beneath Antarctic ice, the colossal squid drifts, a presence more imagined than observed. Most of what is known comes from fragments, a beak found in a whale's stomach, a tentacle washed up on a trawler's deck. Only a handful of intact specimens have ever been studied, the largest measuring up to 14 meters from tip to tip, with eyes as wide as dinner plates, 25 centimeters across, built to sense the faintest glimmer in the abyss. Along its arms, swiveling hooks up to 3 centimeters long gleam in the darkness, ready to seize passing prey. A capture in 2007 of a juvenile near Antarctica offered a rare glimpse, but left most questions unanswered. Even now, the colossal squid remains a riddle, its true size, habits, and numbers hidden in depths where sunlight never reaches. A giant that haunts the edge of knowledge, leaving only scars on sperm whales and the occasional beak as evidence of its existence. A matriarch stands at the heart of every African elephant family, guiding her herd across the savanna with knowledge earned over decades. Her memory stretches far. She recalls distant waterholes, the safest paths, and the season's shifting moods. This wisdom can mean survival for the group, especially in drought or danger. Up to 30 elephants may follow her lead, each one bound by deep social ties. When a calf is born, sisters and aunts gather close, sharing the work of protection and care. Communication runs deeper than trumpets and rumbles. Elephants send low-frequency calls, some below the range of human hearing, through the air and even through the ground. These infrasound signals travel up to 40 kilometers, carrying news of food, danger, or reunion. In moments of loss, elephants linger over the bones of their dead, touching and turning them gently, as if remembering. Their lives are shaped by memory, empathy, and a language felt as much as heard. A dark shape circles high above a city skyline or a lonely cliff, scanning for movement far below. The peregrine falcon, Falco peregrinus, is built for one thing: speed. When prey appears, the falcon climbs, then folds its pointed wings and drops into a stoop, a vertical dive that blurs the line between bird and missile. Radar measurements have clocked these dives at over 300 kilometers per hour, with some trained birds reaching 389 kilometers per hour. To survive such forces, the falcon's nostrils are fitted with tiny bony cones called nasal baffles that break up the rushing air, letting it breathe at full throttle. A translucent nictitating membrane sweeps across each eye, keeping vision razor sharp even as wind roars past. Its swept-back wings and dense muscular frame cut drag, turning gravity into acceleration. Decades ago, pesticides nearly erased peregrines from North America and Europe. But after a global effort, wild populations rebounded, and by 1999, the peregrine was removed from the United States endangered species list. Precision, power, and resilience, nature's fastest hunter, a living missile guided by sight and instinct. 8 billion people now share the planet, one species with the ability to shape every ecosystem, for better or worse. Human brains are wired for language, abstract reasoning, and imagination, unlocking a cascade of inventions. Stone tools, fire, agriculture, writing, electricity, and the digital world. Each leap built on the last, knowledge compounding across generations. That power has transformed landscapes on a global scale. Atmospheric carbon dioxide now stands at 420 parts per million, the highest in at least 3 million years. Forests fall, rivers are dammed, oceans fill with plastic, and the climate itself bends under the weight of human activity. Yet the same mind that builds can also protect. 17% of the world's land is now under some form of protection: national parks, reserves, restored forests. Renewable energy provides nearly a third of global electricity, and rewilding efforts have brought species like the California condor and Arabian oryx back from the edge. No other creature has such reach or faces such a stark choice. The human story is one of invention, but also of responsibility. The future of every extraordinary animal and the wild places they call home depends on what humans decide to value and what they choose to change. Across all 10 extraordinary creatures, one truth stands out. Nature's potential for adaptation and survival is boundless. From immortality to extreme intelligence, these species prove that life endlessly reinvents itself. The real wonder is not their differences, it is the creative force that connects every living thing on Earth. Thanks for watching.